Hi, I'm Peter Hinssen, founder of nexxworks. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot. When you see the rise of technologies and the impact, I think we're spending a lot of time to see what the impact of technology on the economy is. But more and more what we're beginning to see is an enormous impact not just on our business models, but actually on society itself. And this is, in my opinion, somewhat of a trinity where technology changes economy, but technology is changing society, and it's actually the three of them together that are going to have the big impact. It's technology, economy, and society. I recently read a very interesting book by Peter Hinssen called For Futures: Life After Capitalism. And Hinssen is a little bit of an anomaly. He's a young American communist, and that's probably quite rare in itself. But what he does is very brilliantly ask two fundamental questions. Is the world of tomorrow going to be a world of scarcity or abundance? And is it going to be a world of equality and hierarchy? Let me explain. In his first question, is the world going to evolve into scarcity or into abundance? It basically means, are we going to have too much or too little? On the one hand, we're eating up the planet, we're destroying our natural resources, we've got plastic in the ocean, so that's clearly scarcity. On the other hand, we see all these reports about automation replacing jobs. We're going to have more free time than ever before. This is a world of abundance. So are we going to have too much or too little? And the second question is, how are we going to distribute that in society? Are we actually going to have more equality, or are we going to have less equality and more hierarchy? And Hinssen comes up with a very interesting set of almost an XY axis, if you want, where he sketches these four possible scenarios. And the two extremes are interesting. If you look at the world of abundance and the world of equality, this is what he calls communism. And it's basically we have enough and we distribute that fairly. He uses a wonderful sci-fi analogy. He says Star Trek is the ultimate communist fantasy. We have enough, we have unlimited power, and there is no personal property, not even we have more and more equality. But on the other hand, you have exterminism, where you have a world of scarcity and hierarchy. And the sci-fi analogy he uses is Elysium, where Matt Damon lives on the depleted Earth and the ultra-rich live around the Earth. Sometimes when you go to Silicon Valley and you see the gated communities, you see the ultra-rich, you see Facebook building almost a campus for its own and Google driving its employees to the campus with their own buses, and at the same time you see the homeless people on Market Street, it's kind of eerie to see that this type of exterminism might actually play out. I think what we're seeing is a rapid evolution in technology that is not just changing business models, but rapidly changing our world and society. And today we seem to have governments and political structures that aren't capable of addressing that change anymore. What we actually see is that today, maybe even democracy might be threatened by technology. The way we think about society going forward and the way we govern it is rapidly actually being eroded by the possibilities. Today, we have many politicians which are ultra focused on the short term, and we don't have that long-term planning or long-term horizon anymore. I think this is fascinating because more and more what we will see is that we're going to have a tension between what is the individual and what is the collective. What is things that we want for ourselves and what is things that we actually care as a community? What is the I and what is the we? And I think this is something we will see play out in societies. In that society tension, we're going to have that individual and collective. In companies, we're going to have the individual and the collective. And I think this is a set of discussions that we still need to have. Today, maybe we're too excited about new technologies. We see the potential of AI and machine learning and automation, but we're so focused on the economic consequences that we should pay more attention to the societal consequences of these things. And actually, the strange thing is that in some of the lesser democratic governments around the world, they seem to have a better grasp at the long-term future and these possible implications on society. I think maybe as a collective we should spend more time on that. Not just the impact of technology on business, but more and more the impact of technology on society. We will have to understand what our possible future scenarios are and how technology could actually work for the better instead of for the worse.